Shalom everyone, Boker Tov, Rabbi Eric Solomon here, Raleigh, North Carolina, Beth Meir Synagogue. Morning Torah. So Chavrei, this week's Torah portion is Parshat Shmini, the 8th day. And in the very beginning of the Parsha, we see a real tragedy that happens within a few psukim, a few verses. That Aaron has two sons, Nadav and Avihu. Aaron's the high priest. He's in charge of the Kohen Gadol, in charge of offering sacrifices and all the rituals around our prayer experiences while we're wandering in the desert on the way to the Promised Land. And tragically, his sons offer an Eish Zara, a strange fire. There's a lot of comments here on what they did here, Nadav and Avihu, but it appears that they learned from their father how to offer sacrifices. They're in that Kohen line. They have the right to do it, but they do it incorrectly. Some commentators say they were inebriated. Some say that they had too much spiritual fire, but they did it inappropriately, that they channeled things inappropriately, that they broke rules, they were rebellious teenagers. We could do a whole thing, but the bottom line is, putting that to the side, the real tragedy of it is that a fire comes from the sky, or heaven, so to speak, and they are killed immediately. And according to the next pasuk, just says, Vayidom Aharon, and Aaron was silent. Vayidom. Dmama means like, kol dmama daka. It's like complete silence. A still small voice is what's in another commentary, but says later in the Tanakh, but it's a silence. The idea that in light of a tragedy, in time of death, or any type of horrific situation, war, for example, that a person is silent, really speaks to the idea that in times of tragedy, of loss, of deep pain, of shock, it's okay not to say anything, not to be able to say anything, not to be able to put words accurately to what one is feeling. Vayidom Aaron was silent, really teaches us that when Aaron lost his children, there was nothing that he could say or anyone could say that would match the pain of that moment. People ask me, and I've had it numerous times, even recently, sadly, when a funeral occurs and they're given the opportunity to offer a hesped, a eulogy. Some will say, well, what do I say, Rabbi? How do I say it? Or I can't say it. Some will say, I don't want to do it because I'll cry the whole time. And I don't want to do that. And what I tell people is that a hesped, a eulogy, is an attempt to put words to enormous pain and enormous loss. Some obviously more tragic than others, but any loss is a loss. The whole is huge. And sometimes I've seen people get up to give a eulogy and say nearly nothing. Just crying. That's a eulogy too. Words fail us sometimes. Words can't compare, describe. They're not enough. Sometimes silence is more accurate. Now, on the other side, when people are trying to comfort the mourner, nichum avelim, some will say to me, I've discussed this before in Morning Torah, what do I say? How do I do it, Rabbi? I don't know what to do. Especially in difficult circumstances, someone may be dealing with a mental health crisis, whatever the crisis may be. What do I say? And because people are afraid, they don't know what to say. Some don't interact at all. They avoid the person. They don't reach out. They're afraid. They're afraid to see the wrong thing. And truth is that sometimes with great sensitivity. Their soul is like, I don't want to mess this up. I get it. There's an anxiety around that. But sometimes the response when someone's in a tragic moment, a difficult moment, a painful moment, a moment of enormous loss, a crisis, it's not about what you say. You don't have to say anything. It's about what you do. Write a note. Just says, I don't know what to say. I love you. I'm here for you. You're in my prayers. A text. Go up to the person, look at them, and if they're open to it, just give them a hug. Show up at their house with a meal for Shabbat. You don't have to say anything. You can look at them. You can cry with them. No words. Vayidom Aaron. That's a mitzvah too. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that words aren't important. They are. Look, I'm a talker. I'm an extrovert. I'm all about words. The Torah is filled with words. But this Parshat teaches us in moments of tragedy, it's about show me, don't tell me. It's not about lots of talk. It's about lots of listening. And it can even be about silence. And sometimes the most powerful eulogy is just tears. Sometimes the best comforting the mourner of mitzvah is a hug or a look, an eye to eye, or a short text of, I don't know what to say, but I will walk with you always. You are never alone. Dayenu, you did it. So this week's Parsha has other things in it. It has kashrut, has other aspects of the priests, but the most powerful piece in my view is in the first few lines. Vayidom Aaron, his children are killed, Nadav and Avihu, and Aaron is silent. And sometimes being silent with people we love who are going through tragedy is more than okay. It is the greatest gift of love you can give to someone who's in pain. We have a Shabbat that we feel alleviated from some of our pain, that we can give each other love even through silence, comfort even through looks and feel and touch. And when words fail us, don't see it as a failure. It's okay. Spend some silent, loving time with people who need it. That's a mitzvah too. We learn that from Aaron in this week's Parsha. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Kol Tuv.